State men's basketball team competed in the Western Slam over the weekend. Could the Flashes make a statement in Canada?
It was the game, one of the biggest rivalries in sports. Could the Buckeyes defend Ohio Stadium against their bitter rival up north?
And in the storied rivalry in the AFC North, could the Steelers continue their stellar season on the road? All this and more as the season finale of Sportscorner starts right now. From the Franklin Hall studio on the campus of Kent State University, this is Sports Corner alongside Liv Sharp. I'm Matt Carali. Liv, Kent State men's basketball, they ended up going north for Thanksgiving while a lot of us stayed here at home. That's
right. The team was in Alberta, Canada for the Western Slam, and they won their first game against Towson, but they lost to UC Irvine.
And on Saturday, they took on the Kennesaw State Owls and ended up winning by the final of 67-60. The team was led by senior Von Cameron Davis, who scored 16 points, and senior Marquise Bennett also added 13, leading the team in made threes. This marks the 270th win for head coach Rob Senderoff all time here at Kent State. The Flashes will return to action Friday at home against the Portland Pilots. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m.
The Kent State women's basketball team lost to Colorado State 60-54 in the Puerto Rico Clasico finale on Friday. Junior Deanna Gray led Kent State with 13 points and senior Jenna Batch had 10 points. The Rams went on a 17-0 run and the Flashes got within 4 points twice, but they were not able to make a complete comeback. Senior Bridget Dunn did have a game-high 10 rebounds for her 5th double-digit performance of the season. The loss ended Kent State's 3-game winning streak. The Flashes will next travel to Niagara on December 5th for a 10-day break.
On the gridiron, the football season is officially over for Kent State after a disappointing season as the Golden Flashes lost to Buffalo 43-7 in the final game of the season Tuesday night. Quarterback Tommy Ulatowski and the offense took advantage of the shortened field and scored 4 plays after Broden Bishop jumped on a punt that hit off a Buffalo player for his first fumble recovery. This will be the only time Kent State scored against the Bulls in the matchup. Graduate student wideout Luke Floria totaled 38 yards on 4 catches and a touchdown. This is Kent State's first time going winless since 1998.
And the dominoes are starting to fall after that winless season as another Kent State football player has announced he will enter the transfer portal. Quarterback Tommy Ulatowski posted on social media today he will enter the portal when it opens next Monday. Ulatowski threw for 1,342 yards and 15 touchdowns, this despite originally being the second-string quarterback at the beginning of the season. The Flashes will also lose leading receiver Krishawn McCray to the portal as he made his announcement last week.
Kent State has announced the 8-member 2024 Varsity K-Club Athletics Hall of Fame class, which will be honored on February 1st at 9 a.m. in the Student Ballroom. A few inductees are Dior Delafont, who earned 7 All-American honors in women's track and field, Eric Lauer, who was the second consensus first-team All-American in baseball in Kent State history back in 2016, and Ian Miller, the only Kent State wrestler to ever post 3 top 6 finishes at the NCAA championships. This is the 45th induction ceremony for Kent State athletics.
In this installment of the Golden Flashback, we take you back to the year 2000. The Kent State wrestling team won big over the weekend, winning 37-3 against Campbell University on the road in North Carolina. This was just the first of 4 big wins on the weekend. Sophomore Nick Nemeth had a big performance as he did not give up a single point. Today, Nemeth sits at 6th most individual wins in school history. He is also a 3-time MAC champion and qualified for the NCAA tournament 4 times. This is just one of the many wrestlers who put their name in the Kent State record books. This has been another Golden Flashback.
All right, taking a look at some Friday night finals. It was state semifinal night in high school football. Avon will be going to the state title game for the first time since 2011. Toledo Central Catholic looking for their 3rd straight state title with their win over Ursuline. Cincinnati Anderson had the game-winning touchdown with 34 seconds left in their victory over Big Walnut. And Olentangy Liberty, who finished last year with a record of 4-8, takes down the defending champion in St. Edward and will play for a state title. Well, it was a duel in a historic venue for a historic rivalry as the Irish took on the Trojans. Could USC shake things up in the playoff?
I got you.
Oh,
Yeah, I got him.
that stupid controller froze again.
You're only saying that because you're losing.
Bet you bought the cheap one.
That controller is junk too. Is this even real?
You're spending less, so
Yeah? We'll just buy it again?
smart kids.
Who are you?
Or what are you?
Hey, I was wondering if you guys wanted any. OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff, the crime dog. He's an imposter. He's a fake.
I am McGruff the crime dog. He is the fake. And so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. And that, Pops.
Could blow up in your face.
That's right, Scruff. Let's take a bite out of crime together and protect ourselves against fakes. Like him.
Who says you're not the fake?
Dude, you're literally missing an arm.
You are smart kids. You're smart. Buy smart.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Welcome back to Sports Corner, everyone. I'm Maddox Miller.
And I'm Ryan Shenko. Rivalry week was one for the ages, so let's not waste any more time and send it to the shoe for the game. Maddox, take it away.
That's right. It was the Horseshoe hosting the 120th meeting between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Michigan Wolverines. The unranked Wolverines would find the end zone first as Khalil Mullings would punch it in to take a 7-3 lead. Michigan up 7. Late in the second, Will Howard would find Jeremiah Smith, a connection we've seen all year between the senior and freshman. It would be 10-10 all the way late into the third quarter, where in the third, Davis Warren in Michigan territory would get picked off by Caleb Downs, setting up the Buckeyes in great field position. They'd have to settle for a field goal, but oh no, Jaden Fielding pushes it wide left. He missed one earlier in the game, his second miss. We go all the way to the fourth, tied at 10 apiece, and Khalil Mullings on 3rd and 6 with a grown man run, getting it all the way to the 15 to set up Michigan in great field position and to set up a game-winning field goal as Dominic Zavada hits a 21-yard field goal. 13-10 Michigan, their 4th straight win over the Buckeyes, this time in Columbus.
What a game, Maddox. Now we go to sunny LA, Notre Dame and USC. We start a minute left in the second quarter. Riley Leonard floats 1-2 with tight end. That's Eli Raridan. And he puts Notre Dame on top 14-7 with under a minute to go in the half. But the lead wouldn't last long. USC's Jaden Mayava finds Jacoby Lane and they tie it up going into the halftime break. Now we take you down to a minute left in the third quarter. It's Riley Leonard again. It's a tight end again, and this time it's Mitchell Evans in front of Bryson Shaw. That is another one of Leonard's 3 total touchdowns on the day. Now we're late in the fourth quarter. Mayava going for a touchdown, but it's picked off. That's Christian Gray for the Fighting Irish, and he has a convoy. Gray was picked on all day. He committed multiple penalties, was burned several times, and he makes up for all of it right here, putting Notre Dame up 14. They'd add another pick 6, and they would do it. Notre Dame beats the Trojans 45-35, and they are going to the college football playoff.
It was ACC versus SEC in Athens, Georgia on Black Friday. Georgia Tech taking on Georgia. Second quarter, Georgia Tech on top 10-0. Georgia with a 2nd and 1. Carson Beck hits Dominic Lovett. He fumbles the football, and it's recovered by Jackson Hamilton. Georgia will be down 20-6 in the third quarter, come back to make it a 1-possession gain. Haynes King fumbles the ball. It's recovered by Chaz Chambliss. So Georgia is going to get the ball back here, trying to defend their home turf. 1st and goal at the 3. Beck hits Lovett at the goal line, touchdown. We're all even at 27. This game will go to overtime. Georgia scores to take the lead. Tech now on offense King hits Eric Singleton Jr. for the touchdown. We're all even at 32. Now we're even at 42. 8th overtime. King scrambling away, looking for Singleton, back of the end zone. It's too high, incomplete. We're still tied. Georgia's next time out on the field offensively. They'll hand it off to Nate Frazier, and he will take the midnight train to Georgia. 8 overtime winner, coming back down in the second half to win it 44-42.
We cap things off with a trip out to Clemson where the Tigers lead 7-0 in the second quarter. Lenore Sellers had met with a lot of orange, but he escapes the rush and takes off. Sellers takes it himself, dives for the pylon, but wait, let's take a look at the replay. Let's see, did he get it? Yes, he did. We are now tied 7-7. It's second and third for Clemson. Cade Klubnik under center. He fakes the handoff, pushes through the pile, gets to the one and lowers his shoulder for the big boom to get 6. Clemson retakes the lead 14-7. Now, Sellers was really getting it done on the ground. He's scrambling, he's dodging tackles, he's weaving to find his way around. Look at him just breaking tackles left and right. You'd think he was a running back, not a quarterback, but they cannot take him down. He goes 27 yards before he gets dropped at the 25-yard line. Time is ticking down for South Carolina. They gotta make a move, and Sellers can count on one person, himself, so he takes off. He does what he's done all night, goes upfield, and he gets the touchdown. And South Carolina gets a huge win over Clemson in the Palmetto Bowl by a final of 17-14.
Crazy upset. Syracuse looking to do the same against Miami. That's Orange head coach Fran Brown. He says he doesn't bathe after games that he loses. Will he be a winner on this one? Live 14-0 Miami. Cam Ward hits Elijah Arroyo 21-0 early.
I mean, Arroyo was just practically standing there. That was a great throw.
Syracuse cuts to within a score, and former Buckeye Kyle McCord to Trevor Pena for the touchdown.
I mean, McCord's been doing excellent things. He really put this right on the money, despite Pena being in heavy coverage there.
A Miami win in this one would put them in the ACC championship game. Cam Ward gets it to Xavier Restrepo. He puts the ball on the turf. And Liv, this is Devin Grant on the return.
I know, that's Grant's third forced fumble of the season, and I mean, it couldn't have come at a better time for Syracuse.
56 yards for the score, tie game at 35. LaQuint Allen gets the touchdown for the Orange to get them in front.
He had 2 touchdowns on the night, just a great day for him.
1 first down for Syracuse, and it's over. They go end around with Pena. He gets it, and will get Clemson into the ACC title game against SMU, taking down the Canes 42-38. So, after the regular season is all said and done, here is the AP Top 10. Oregon staying at number 1. 2 through 6, all up a spot. Ohio State drops 5 after the loss to Michigan at home, and 8 through 10 also go up a spot in the rankings. Hello, Boise State. Welcome into the graphic. And welcome to the desk, Jacob Kraus and Maddox Miller. Thanks for joining us, gentlemen.
No, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So, we'll start with what happened down south in Columbus. What went wrong for the Buckeyes Saturday?
Personally, I think the Buckeye offense was very mediocre in that game. They weren't able to establish any kind of run game or rhythm. I don't know why they didn't throw the ball to Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Ibuka more than they did. Overall, I thought the defense played great and they gave them a chance, but ultimately the turnovers and the missed field goals were the big reason I think we lost.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I have nothing really to add on to that. It can't run the ball. Michigan is known for a good run defense, and they tried to just force it. Just bad coaching, I think, on the offensive side of the ball. The defense literally did all that they could except score. And then, yeah, I mean, the missed field goals, they left 6 points on the board, and that would have won them the game. So that's, yeah, I mean, exactly what Jacob said.
As we head into these title games, who is a team that you guys think people need to be looking out for?
I want to shout out the Arizona State Sun Devils. They are heading into the Big 12 championship against Iowa State. This is a program that has gone through some tough times. I think a lot of people remember Jane Daniels transferring out to LSU, but to build themselves up in their first year in the Big 12, I believe, is phenomenal. I think if they win, they will be in the college football playoffs. And while they may not be a national championship contender, they can be a very feisty team that could be a lot of fun to watch.
And I got the Georgia Bulldogs. I feel like people have been forgetting about them a bit just because they've been kind of in a lot of close games. And Carson Beck's turnovers are obviously a concern, but I'm confident that a guy like Kirby Smart can help him at least cut it in half so he's not reckless with the ball. And if he can do that, I don't think anybody will want to play the Bulldogs.
Now, when it comes to the national championship, who do you guys see lifting the trophy in the first ever 12-team playoff?
I'm actually going to, team you just mentioned, the Georgia Bulldogs, I think championship pedigree can go a long way. Now, I have them taking on the Oregon Ducks. Oregon, the last undefeated team in the college football landscape. So it's kind of just best versus best. I think teams like Texas, teams like Penn State, when the lights are turned on, they're going to be a little bit too bright for them and they're going to shy away from it. I think Georgia, like you said, a lot of people are forgetting about them. I think that championship pedigree is going to go a long way between Carson Beck and Kirby Smart. I see a Ducks versus Bulldogs national championship, but I do see the Ducks taking this one, running the table as the best team in college football throughout the year.
Number one staying number one. Jacob, how about you?
I got Ohio State and Oregon as my national championship prediction. I know Ohio State had a devastating loss to Michigan, but when worst comes to worst, I think when those two teams are playing at their best, I think those are like the two most complete teams, both sides of the ball. So if they don't, I mean, depending on how the seedings go, and they don't meet early, I'm confident that's my national championship prediction.
All right, well, now from national championship predictions, we're going to some award predictions. Who do you guys have taking the Heisman?
This is I feel like this is a close race.
It is.
I'm going to go with Shedeur Sanders.
All right.
I think with the year that Colorado has had, I think he deserves a lot of credit for how they've turned their program around. Now, obviously, Deion, obviously he's done a phenomenal job, shaping that program and getting them, respectable and whatnot. And I think all that, and he's looked great as well. I think he's going to take home the trophy.
I am going to stick with Colorado. I'm going to give it to Shedeur's wide receiver / cornerback, Travis Hunter. I've been on the Ashton Jeanty train pretty much all year. I think what he's doing for Boise State as a running back is phenomenal. But when Travis Hunter goes out there, grabs 3 touchdowns and an interception in his last game in the regular season, that just kind of put him over the edge for me. And I think it's going to put him over the top for a lot of people, including whoever's doing the voting for Heisman. And I don't believe postseason play is considered in the Heisman race, and that's going to hurt Jeanty a lot, in my opinion.
Now, when it comes to Coach of the Year, who do you guys have in mind taking that award?
I have a not-so-fan favorite of Ohio State fans, of Big Ten fans. I have Indiana's Curt Cignetti. Regardless of their resume, regardless of the lack of ranked wins, you could just say they've had an easy schedule. Turning around an Indiana program that I think won 3 games last year into a 10-1 potential playoff team. Regardless of what you think about the guy, the Google me, the all I do is win stuff, he has turned a program that has been a punching bag in the Big Ten to a much more respectable team.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Colorado. I'm going to go with Deion Sanders. Kind of, the same thing with Indiana, Colorado. I think, weren't they 1-11 like a year or two ago?
Yeah, and they only won 4 games last year.
And they won 4 games last year. And so to go from 4 wins to what? They're 9-3? 9-3 is remarkable. And we'll see what happens, if they make the playoff and, how far they go. But I think as far as the regular season goes, with how they've looked and just the improvements they've made, I think he should definitely be a guy that you should look out for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, conference championship weekend coming up on Saturday. Thank you, fellas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Well, this week our final college football team spotlight for the semester is shining down to the Deep South on the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. Sitting at 10-2 currently, Louisiana has a chance to pick up their 11th win of the year on Saturday in the Sun Belt title game when they take on Marshall. The Ragin' Cajuns are a program used to success from 2019 to 2021. They went a staggering 34-5 and won the Sun Belt title in 2021. However, since the head coach who led them to that success, Billy Napier, left for Florida, UL has struggled to get back to their dominant ways. With back-to-back 6-7 campaigns the previous 2 years, new head coach Michael DeSormo has figured things out and has his team back to competing for championships. This year's squad is led by quarterback Ben Woolridge, wide receiver Lance Legendre, and defensive back Tyree Skipper, who leads the team with 4 interceptions. We don't know how this team has managed to stay so under the radar all year because they're playing serious football down in Lafayette.
Hello, I'm Jordan Hiles, and I'm here to give you all the updates happening in college volleyball. The NCAA Division I Women's Volleyball Committee has revealed the 64-team field for the 2024 National Championship. This year's top 4 seeds are Pittsburgh, Nebraska, Louisville, and Penn State. Pittsburgh earned the top overall seed with a dominant 29-1 record in a third consecutive ACC championship. Nebraska and Penn State share the Big Ten title, each finishing 29-2 overall and 19-1 in conference play. And Louisville secured its position with a 25-5 season. The tournament follows a regional pod structure, seeding the top 32 teams nationally and organizing them geographically. The first and second round matches will take place December 5th through 7th. The regional rounds will follow December 12th through 15th, and the national semifinals and championship finals will be hosted at the University of Louisville at the KFC Yum Center on December 19th and December 22nd. Now that you heard the schedule, let's get into my predictions. Starting off in Region 1, Pittsburgh should have a relatively smooth path to the Final Four. Despite this, the quarterfinals could have a challenge versus SMU, a team that has exceeded expectations this season. SMU's campaign included a stunning sweep over Nebraska and a narrow 5-set victory over Pitt earlier this year. However, Pitt's consistency and dominance throughout the season should give them the edge, and that secures their spot to their 4th consecutive Final Four appearance. In Region 2, Louisville, the 4th seed. They're likely to advance despite their recent struggles. While their 25-5 record and late season losses raised questions about their ranking over teams like Stanford or Creighton, Louisville's #1 strength and schedule reinforces their credibility. With their losses only coming from top 5 opponents, the Cardinals should have a relatively smooth path to the quarterfinals, with highly anticipated matchups against Stanford, a team they split the series with 1-1 this season that could determine their Final Four fate. The third region is shaping up to be the most competitive. Penn State, also Big Ten champions, will face challenges from 2nd-seeded Creighton and 3rd-seeded Texas. Creighton has been strong this season with their only losses coming from Nebraska and Louisville. Meanwhile, Texas, despite having a challenging year, remains a contender due to their strong defense and star player Maddie Skinner. As reigning back-to-back national champions, Texas can't be ruled out. Still, Penn State's consistency and depth gives them a solid chance to reach the Final Four. Finally, Nebraska, a volleyball powerhouse, has one of the most impressive resumes, including numerous top 10 wins and a Big Ten title for the 2nd consecutive year. However, Pitt narrowly claimed the top seed with just 1 loss compared to Nebraska's 2. Nebraska is likely to face Wisconsin in the quarterfinals, a team they swept twice during regular season. But despite these victories, Wisconsin has a historic season with Nebraska. In the 2021 National Championship, they won in the championship and overcome Nebraska. Although Nebraska, I think, has a secured spot for the national championship. Now that you had my Final Four predictions, let's go into who I believe is going to win the crown. I foresee no major upsets anticipated in these regions, so the semifinals will feature Pitt versus Louisville and Penn State versus Nebraska. I believe Pitt and Nebraska will make it out alive and face the championship match. But I project Nebraska upsetting Pitt in the championship and being crowned the 2024 NCAA Division I Women's Volleyball Champions. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining me in discussing all things volleyball. I hope you are excited as I am. I'm Jordan Hiles. Have a great night.
All right, Jordan, thank you very much. Well, it was a quarterback duel for the ages in Cincinnati yesterday. Find out if it's Joe Burrow or Russell Wilson willing their team to victory.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me and I love it.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thunderdome. I'm Evan Schofield here with Anthony Leonardi to take you through a wild Sunday in the NFL world. We start in Cincinnati. Steelers-Bengals divisional matchup in Cincinnati. Let's get into it. It's a 2nd and 2 after a Russell Wilson pick 6. The screen goes to George Pickens. He has blockers in front. He slips a tackle and ties the game in Cincy 7-7. Pittsburgh ties the game here. Bengals will go down, so Russ has to cook. He steps up on 2nd and 8 and zips it in for speedy Calvin Austin. Russ keeps it moving for the 23-yard touchdown pass, 14-14. Looks like it's going to be a shootout, ladies and gentlemen. 2nd and goal now. What does Joe Burrow have up his sleeve? He steps up from pressure, and he fires to Jamar Chase for his 13th touchdown of the year. Bengals up 21-14. Russ sets with his team on his back. Turn back the clocks, folks. Vintage Russ scrambles and fires to Pat Freiermuth. He strolls in for the touchdown. Steelers have a commanding lead, 34-24. Joe Cool yet again has to bring his team back, and oh no! Young buck Nick Herbig strips the ball, and rookie Peyton Wilson picks it up, runs it in for the touchdown. Defense strikes again for Pittsburgh. That'll pretty much end it. Steelers win 44-38 with 9-3 record, and Cincy's defensive woes continue.
All right, now we're going to take things over to the East Coast. Bank of America Stadium, Panthers host the Buccaneers, and you know what? We're going to see old reliable Mike Evans. He gets at it in this game. 8 catches, 118 yards, including this touchdown. The Buccaneers are absolutely thrilled to have him back. But the story of this game is not throughout the 4 quarters. It is right at the end. So Bryce Young, he's showing some promise. The Panthers have been looking for this, and he finds Adam Thielen. Go-ahead touchdown. Panthers fans are rejoicing, but there's 30 seconds left on that clock, and the Buccaneers offense makes them pay for it. They kick this field goal. We are going to overtime, folks. Now, the Panthers had multiple opportunities to win this game and put it away, and Adam Thielen was going to make sure that that happens. Look at this catch he makes right on the sideline, moves the Panthers into field goal range, but the Panthers did want to move that ball just a little bit closer, and Chuba Hubbard on this handoff is going to fumble the football. I mean, absolute disastrous result for the Panthers as the Buccaneers recover, take it down to the 15. They're going to kick this field goal. Bucs fans are rejoicing at this one as they narrowly get this win.
Cardinals taking on the Vikings out in Minneapolis. Sam Darnold looking to keep his dream season moving along. Cardinals looking to go 7-5. Second half, Arizona up 12-6. Kyler Murray says, I'm no longer playing Call of Duty. Gets it to Marvin Harrison Jr. for the touchdown. 19-6 Cardinals. Next Vikings drive, Sam Darnold looking to respond. Scrambling away, hits Johnny Muntz in the corner for the touchdown, 19-13. Both teams trade field goals, and with 1:16 left to go in the fourth, Darnold to Aaron Jones to give the Vikings the lead 23-22. One last chance for the Cards. Murray looking long, but Shaquille Griffin says, I think you're still playing Call of Duty. There's the pick. There's your ball game. Vikings win their 5th in a row by the final of 23-22.
Finally, we've got the Patriots taking on the Colts. 2 young QBs facing off, Drake May and Anthony Richardson. Who's going to come out on top? Let's see. Richardson on 1st and goal. He has pressure, so he just hurls it up. And Jonathan Taylor is there to bring it in. Take a look at the replay. Just a little sliver of grass there, but Taylor gets the touchdown. Pats pick up 2 more field goals, but no tutties till now. May finds Austin Hooper, and the big fella climbs the ladder for the touchdown. We jump to the 4th, Colts up by 1. May on 2nd and 10, hands it off to Antonio Gibson, who fights his way into the end zone. He gets dragged down in there, but it doesn't matter. He crosses the goal line, and the Patriots take the lead. Richardson looking to get the Colts back in this on 4th and 3. He's getting chased, but completes it to Moali Cox for the 1st down. And we've got another 4th down. This time, Richardson picks up a new set of downs with his legs. Now on 4th and goal, Richardson to Alec Pierce, and it's caught, but they are still down 1 point. They're not going for the tie, they're going for the win. So a 2-point try it is. Richardson has the rock, gets hit, keeps pushing, and he's in. The Colts win it 25-24 over the New England Patriots.
All right, gentlemen. Well, the long-awaited AFC North rendition of Hard Knocks is coming soon. What are you anticipating here as that is going to be releasing on HBO Max?
Well, Matt, I hate to break it to you guys, but I've actually never heard of Hard Knocks up until now. I know I'm a sports
Like
fan,
today
and
now?
I have never heard of Hard Knocks until now.
Really?
Somehow I lived under that rock. I'm not really sure how that happened, but after having it explained to me, I am extremely excited to get into this, especially just because, you know, as seeing Mike Tomlin be kind of this, like, you know, hard-nosed, he's a bit hard-headed guy, but when he does joke around with his players, it's hilarious. So I'm really excited to see behind the scenes of that Pittsburgh team, as well as just the Cleveland team, of course. I mean, we just know there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with that team, and it'll be really interesting to see what it's like in that locker room and the coaching staff and how they deal with all that adversity, injuries, especially, you know, just the craziness of this season, as well as the other two teams. It'll be great.
Yeah, I agree with that, guys. Look, I want to see every coach and how they handle, like you said, adversity, how they handle wins, how they handle losses, how they talk to their players. We know how Mike Tomlin talks to his players, but do we know how Zach Taylor does it? Do we know how John Harbaugh does it? We really don't. It's going to be an inside look, and honestly, it's going to be a great look into the Steelers and the Ravens for the division. I think it's going to be super tense. I think they're all, you know, each team has a very big chance to win the division, and it's going to be cool to see the inside perspective of each coach. How does it shape out? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Comes out tomorrow. Super excited.
I'm very excited as well. Well, we are rapidly approaching the end of the season. Who do you guys have for your division winners?
Evan, you want to start this one out?
Yeah, I guess so. So I have the NFC. And we're going to start with the East. I think Philly runs away with the East. Obviously, Philadelphia's been such a high-powered team. They have a very easy rest of the schedule. They have 5 games left. You know, they're all healthy. The defense is super scary. Next, obvious pick for the North, the Detroit Lions. Come on. They've been the best team in the league by far, in my opinion. They have so many playmakers on offense and defense, and, you know, you can't find Amon-Ra St. Brown. You go to Sonic and Knuckles on the ground. Come on. You have the best running back duo in the league. They had a gutty win against the Bears, and, you know, to beat the Vikings, that would be pretty important in the last week of the season. So, big game there. As far as the NFC South, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they close out the division once again, like they did last year. Baker had an off game against the Panthers. He's never that good against the Panthers, and, you know, Mike Evans is back. He's making an impact. For the last 5, you know, the teams have a losing record, and the defense has to recuperate, but, you know, they've been okay against teams in the West. And live. You, Matt, everyone might disagree with me, but I got the Cardinals winning the NFC West.
Wow.
Okay.
They got this close.
That's not a hot take.
They got this close to upsetting the 10-2 Vikings before Murray, you know, found out he played Call of Duty, obviously.
All right.
And, you know, they're sneaky good. They have one of the best tight ends in Trey McBride, and Budda Baker's on the other side, leading the team in tackles. They're a gritty team. You know, they're within 1 game of the Rams, and they could honestly upset them for the division. And there's subpar play from San Francisco we saw, and, you know, the Rams, they've been okay this year. So I don't know. I think the Cardinals take it.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of get the easy one, right? I mean, the AFC. Who do we realistically have winning the divisions? The Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow they keep winning football games, despite displaying all that first-round exit energy.
We know how.
I genuinely just think that they're going to run away with that division. No one else has a chance. Then we're going to move over to the AFC South. I mean, the Jaguars, not that good. The Titans, not that good. The Colts, maybe. No, probably not. The Texans are going to come out. They're going to get that one. So that leaves us with the AFC East, and it was just clinched last night, I believe, by the Buffalo Bills. So that remains Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens. All right. I think the easy answer would be to say the Steelers, but they have a very tough schedule coming up, and that includes teams like the Chiefs, teams like the Eagles, like you said, would win their division.
Correct.
So I'm going to predict that the Baltimore Ravens sneak up from behind late in the season and take that division away from the Steelers and moving them down to whatever seed that would be. I would anticipate the Steelers move down to maybe the 5 seed, kind of similar to how like the Browns were last year with the Ravens. How, you know, once they were out of the division winning area, they kind of just moved down to the 5 seed and held that spot. So I kind of think that's going to be the same deal, but for the Steelers this year. I think the Ravens are just going to come from behind and take this one late. So yeah, that's my predictions. But, you know, I think the wild card race will be a lot more interesting than the divisions for the AFC.
And kind of speaking of that, who are some teams that you think could surprise some people and maybe make their way into the postseason that folks aren't talking about a whole lot?
Oh man, well my original pick would have been Cincinnati had they pulled through and won that game last night or yesterday. Sorry, but they just don't have a defense. I don't think they can do it. I used to say the Colts too, but they're up in the air. The Colts, maybe they could do it if they somehow win out. I don't know if that'll happen. I'm pretty excited to see the Broncos play too. I really think that they're playing right now, of course, but I think if they win some more games, they could find themselves in the wild card, and maybe they can knock off the Chiefs. I mean, we've seen them come really close, and if it wasn't for a blocked field goal, they would have won. So I would pick maybe the Broncos to be the dark horse team.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with him on this one, guys. Simply because you're led by a rookie in Bo Nix who has 2,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And look, Javonte Williams and Cortland Sutton, they started slow, but they are coming back, and they're winning big games. Their defense is allowing the 3rd least points in the NFL per game. And Sean Payton, he's coached a very solid team who looked kind of sluggish in the beginning of the season. And I think they'll grab the 6th or 7th, guys. That's what I think. So.
All right. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Going back to what we were talking about the AFC North earlier, one of those teams is currently playing in Monday Night Football right now. It's the Browns and the Broncos. Those teams are deadlocked at 7 in the second quarter. Javonte Williams ran it in from 2 yards out. David Njoku on the board, an 8-yard receiving touchdown. And speaking of Cleveland sports, let's now toss it over to Timmy Carlisle as he talks CLE.
Hello and welcome once again to Timmy Talks. Tonight marks the last segment of the semester. There's a jam-packed slate for our final episode, so let's get started. Well, folks, starting things off talking about basketball in Cleveland. The Cavs are now 18-3 as we jump ahead to this week, and they are on the upswing. There are a few key pieces on this Cleveland Cavaliers roster who are playing phenomenal basketball right now. Most importantly, their lead, their star, Donovan "Spider" Mitchell, absolutely carrying this team at times. He had about 24 points a game this season as his average right now. And even when he starts slow, he comes back and has a good second half, adjusts, and is able to help the team get the win. In their game against the Celtics yesterday, he started with about 5 or 6 points in the first half and ended with a 35-piece. He came alive in the second half of that game and really helped the Cleveland Cavaliers secure the dub. Now, a couple episodes ago, I talked about Evan Mobley's progression, and he is truly taking the next step, leading the team in rebounds right now with about 10 a game. Now, with that being said, the Cleveland Cavaliers have a lot to look forward to as we are about a third of the way through the NBA season right now. The Cavs are sitting at 18-3, like I said when I started this segment, and they are on pace to get their 20th win before their 10th loss. A lot of Sportscorner veteran watchers know that we've talked quite frequently about how NBA teams who are able to get their 40th win before their 20th loss are championship contenders. So, this Cleveland Cavaliers team, who are currently leading the Eastern Conference, have that on pace right now to get that 10th win before their 5th loss, which they've already accomplished. So, things stack in progressions, and this Cavs team is looking to keep things rolling. The Cavs have some excellent in-house entertainment y'all can look forward to if you happen to catch a game. The Wine and Goldies are some senior citizen dancers, and then the Cleveland Pogaliers are the Cleveland Cavaliers pogo stick team that put on incredible shows in the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. And speaking of incredible shows at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be hosting the Washington Wizards tomorrow at 7 p.m. with an NBA tournament play-in game. The Cavs are keeping an eye on Jordan Poole, and not just for the game tomorrow. There are some trade rumors swirling around the NBA, with the Cavs looking to make some pieces before the deadline. Now, with that being said, we are going to jump over and switch from the Cavs to the Browns, who are currently playing right now, and they only have 3 wins this season. But 2 of those 3 wins are against division rivals. So Browns fans are sleeping just a bit easier, having handled their division opponents. So I'm going to go ahead and say it easily. The conditions were not, but nobody thought the Browns would have a shot. And for them to sneak games against the Steelers and the Ravens truly shows that this team can be dangerous. Now, speaking of can be dangerous, Jameis Winston is the Browns quarterback. He can be dangerous at times, both for you and against you. If Jameis can limit his turnovers tonight against the Denver Broncos, as we said, the game is tied at 7, look for the Cleveland Browns to possibly play spoiler and hand the Broncos a loss. Now, the Broncos are currently fighting for that 7th seed in the wild card standings, so the Browns have a legitimate opportunity to play spoilers and end their playoff chances. Now, I know there's a few weeks left, so a lot other dominoes have to fall, but any team that loses to the Browns at this point should not be a playoff team. There, I said it. So, with that being said, the Cleveland Browns have so many opportunities to play spoilers for the rest of the season. They will see the Ravens again, they will see the Steelers again, and those teams, you bet your bottom dollar, are looking to get their revenge. So, this Cleveland Browns team has a lot of ups, and a lot of ups coming up would be the draft as well. With this team being only 3-8 right now, their draft pick is going to be up there. Look for the Browns to have a top 10 pick come 2025 in that first round. This is the Browns' first pick since the Jameis Winston trade, since they lost all those draft picks in the trade agreement. So, whoever this Browns player takes, whoever the Browns take, that player is definitely going to be historic. That's for sure. And I think that's going to do it for my segment today on Timmy Talks and all semester long. That's going to be all the time I've got. Thank you for listening to this semester on Timmy Talks here on Sports Corner. Another huge thank you to everyone here at Kent Stater TV for making these episodes happen every Monday night. Let's toss things back over to the desk to see what's happening on the remainder of tonight's episode.
Thank you, Timmy. Awesome as always. Coming up, college basketball is in full swing as teams are traveling like AAU teams. We have the latest coming up.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now.
No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child.
So let's join hands, book people unite.
Unearth hidden passion.
Tomorrow have a good time.
And seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall. Writing on the wall. And make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
You think you're just checking your messages or telling a friend you're on your way. They could be the last words you ever type. Make sure you get where you're going.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm David Williams, and we saw quite an exciting weekend in college men's basketball.
And I'm Gage Wellman. Let's get right to it. Now, David, where are you taking us, my friend?
Yeah, I'm taking us down to Paradise Island, Bahamas, in the Battle for Atlantis Championship. That's going to be Kason Pryor. He's going to get the ball in the paint, hands it over to Noah Waterman. Waterman slams it into the rim. He's going to be hanging on to that, tying the game at 18. 7 seconds left, Sooners up by 5. Kobe Elvis slips the ball to Jalen Moore for an easy put-up. Moore with an absolute showcase of his abilities. Sooners up by 7 now. Oklahoma up by 5. Abubakar Traore drives deep into the paint for an easy 2. It'll fall. Jeremiah Fears passes the ball to Glenn Taylor Jr. Taylor Jr. with a little fadeaway. It'll drop. It's good. Sooners up by 5, moving the ball around the perimeter. Elvis takes the shot from range. It's good. Louisville down by 2 now. Freshman Jeremiah Fears covers what could have been a turnover. The 18-year-old puts it up, extending Oklahoma's lead. Unfortunately, Louisville couldn't find their momentum, and after a hard-fought game, they fell to Oklahoma, a final score of 69-64.
Well, sticking in the Gulf of Mexico, let's go to the Walt Disney World at ESPN Image. Now, if you remember, this is actually where the bubble was. Walter Clayton, he hits one from the swamp. I mean, that had some real arc to it. And then Denzel Aberdeen switches hands, goes coast to coast with some contact, and makes the layup. Wichita State, they're going to have a deep three all the way from the Midwest to make it up. But then it's going to be Richard Tachumni. He had a big 14-point, 11-board game, and another one. Looking like Blake Griffin, there is Walt Clayton, the guard. Speaking of Clippers, I'm getting Chris Paul vibes from this huge jumper to cut it down to a 30-point deficit. As Chimney, he's going to go again with the slam, with the big swagger. He looks absolutely great. And then it's Sam Alexis. He's got my mother's name, but he's looking like Kobe Bean Bryant with the fadeaway jumper. And then it's just Isaiah Brown putting it, and you're just beating a dead horse at this point. Your final from Florida, 88 Gators, Wichita State, 51.
A lot of tropical places here to start off our college basketball block. Let's go to another. Kansas City, Missouri. Thanksgiving Classic, Illinois at Arkansas. Colin Boswell says, don't forget the KC barbecue sauce on the Thanksgiving table. That's a 3. It's 14-2 Illini. 18-6 Illinois in front. How about Ben Humrickhouse from downtown? It's 21-6. Late first half, Illinois up by a dime. You can make that 13. Tomislav Ivisic. It's 49-34 Illinois at the break. In the second half, good fake here from John L. Davis. Down low to Samir Ivisic with the 3. It's an 11-point game. Now, a minute later, Davis gets it to Ivisic on the jam. It's 56-43. A few minutes later, Humrickhouse will hit again from deep as it circles home. Illinois back in front by double digits. Let's go late in the second half. How about Kasparis Yaksionis? A season-best 23 points for the young man as the Illini take down number 19 Arkansas by the final of 90-77.
We go back to the tropics. It's the semifinal for the Battle of Atlantis. We see Gonzaga versus Indiana. Let's get to a Khalif battle with the ball. Turns on the Jets, gets fouled, and the basket. The Zags up by 1. Then Ryan Nembhard tries to do the same thing, acting like his big brother Andrew. Tough drive, flips it up and fouls. Now Gonzaga's up by 6. Nembhard gets the pass, puts it up in battle, throws the hammer down, and gets the layup off the break. Nembhard had 13 assists. Here's one of them. He dishes to Ben Gregg, who gets the layup. Gonzaga just keeps getting Indiana to foul. Battle hurls it up and draws the foul. He had 16 points, was perfect from the line. We head to the second. Nolan Hickman gets the rock, drives into the paint, and he picks up 2. Now, here's a little catch-and-shoot 3, and Gonzaga is just destroying the Hoosiers, and Battle caps off an absolutely great night for the Zags with the alley-oop dunk. Gonzaga wins it 89-73. Well, starting off with a question that's on everyone's mind, what happened to UConn?
Yeah, Liv, that is a great question. So after the embarrassing Maui Invitational, in the AP poll, UConn dropped from number 2 to number 25. How they're still ranked is a question I would like to know. I don't think they should still be ranked top 25. They are an amazing program. I will say 4-3 is the worst start to a season they've had in the past 7 years. It's not a good look. They need a big offensive change. Looking at some of the stats, the majority of their players are averaging only single digits in a game. There's 2 that are averaging double digits, but the rest of them are not. You can't have that as a powerhouse such as UConn. And their bench just can't afford to go in. They're not equipped to handle this caliber of play. Defensively, I think they also are struggling. They lost a lot of their big guys, and after that, they really have nobody, and size is really an issue for them. They're very lacking in that department.
Well, that's true, David, and I get what you're saying. Obviously, the Huskies had lots of players depart and go to the league. But if I had a message for Coach Hurley, and if I could post a Christmas card to him this holiday season, I would say, Coach, take a sad song and make it better. I mean, let's break it down. each game that we had the Mavi Invitational.
Hey, Jude.
Against Coach Hardaway's Memphis Tigers, you shot 49% from the field, which is not bad at all. Then from 3, you shoot 46%, which is 10% of average. The thing that really alarmed me is you're only shooting 33s a game. I mean, come on, it's 2025 nearly. You've got so much talent. As Liv said, you've got these AAU kids coming in. What are we doing only shooting 33s a game? Then Colorado, they have 48%, and they lost by 2 against Memphis. A loss by 1 in Colorado. Again, only shooting 38%, that's 2 above average, but you're only attempting 31 threes. Why are we only attempting 31 threes? I mean, this is, and you know what, I'll say this about Dayton, which was an 18-point loss. But again, when you're looking at a weekend and you said you could have gone 2 and 3 this weekend, and it was only the difference of a few free throws against Memphis, you went 19 of 24. You make a few free throws and that's a win. You go 10 of 13 against Colorado. That's a win if you make a few of those. At the end of the day, Hurley, you've got a lot to work with here, and I get my colleague, Mr. Williams, he's got a lot for you to think, oh my gosh, I mean, what am I doing? This team, it's not going nowhere. We're 25th. This kid on Kent State, he's telling me we're not even supposed to be ranked. But I think you've got a lot of moving pieces, and I think you just got to shoot more threes, Matt.
Yeah, you know, and kind of going back to the weekend, you were talking about it earlier. It was a big one this weekend in college basketball. What were your guys' big takeaways from it?
Well, I really liked, and maybe this is just the highlight rubbing off me. How about Florida? They looked really good, didn't they? I mean, you've got a guy in Clayton who's going out there and he's jumping. He got a vertical like Russell Westbrook, and he's got a 3-ball like Curry. I mean, it's insane. I mean, also in Chinleyu, 14 and 11. When you're in these March Madness type scenarios, you're going to need a guy who can really elbow out and get 11 boards, can get 12, 14 points. And Florida, I don't know where they aren't ranked at the moment, but they are looking pretty good. David, what do you think?
Yeah, so looking at some of the stats from this weekend, again, it's maybe just because I did the highlight and I was looking at stats. A stat that stood out to me was Louisville, their shots from range. It's not looking good. It was a close game against Oklahoma, I will say that, but they couldn't hit those shots from range. Currently, they have a 39% field goal percentage, which
you want that to be in the 40s,
right,
for sure.
Yeah, it's a little low for my liking. Against Oklahoma, out of the 32 shots from range that they took, they made 7.
That's bad.
That is not good.
You can't have that.
You can't have that at all. No. That's ultimately going to kill you the game. And it's not even like they didn't have the opportunity to get these easy points. They had double the rebounds that Oklahoma did. They had plenty of opportunities to shoot easy shots.
Easy. I mean, when you have such effortless opportunities, you have to capitalize because you're going to have teams like UConn. They're not going to be struggling for long. You're going to have up and rising teams, although this is a program that's won national championships like Florida. They're going to chomp down and take advantage of you if you're not doing what you need to do.
All right, gentlemen, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, the Red Hot Cavaliers faced off against the Boston Celtics in a battle of the two beasts in the East. We'll head to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse after the break to see if Cleveland can defend the land.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Even if I tried, even if I wanted to.
OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
It's not my Uncle McGruff, the crime dog. No, he's a fake.
I am McGruff the crime dog. He is the fake. And so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. You're smart. Buy smart.
Cleveland and Boston, those are the two teams that are atop the Eastern Conference standings. 2 weeks ago, the Celtics took down the Cavs by 3 at TD Garden in Boston. So let's head to Cleveland to see if history can repeat itself. That's Jason Tatum. That's Donovan Mitchell. You'll hear a lot of those two names throughout this highlight. 8-6 Cavs to start. Mitchell working on Porzingis. He gets it to go and one. He makes the free throw. It's 11-6. Second quarter, Cavs up 2. Darius Garland with a teardrop that hits the roof of the field house. It's 44-40. A few minutes later, Evan Mobley dishes it out to Garland, who will hit from deep range. It's 51-49 Cavs at the break. Third quarter, Kristaps Porzingis will nail it from downtown. Later in the third, Jason Tatum will hit one from Illyria to put them up 9. A few possessions later, Tatum working on Mitchell, the fadeaway, the jumper to go. In the fourth quarter, Boston up 5. Mitchell decides to turn it up a notch. He'll hit that one over Sam Hauser. He'll get this one from Mobley from deep. That's good. Mitchell down 3, under $1:45, lets it go, nails it. And then Mitchell trying to go inside. He'll float it, and it circles home for the lead. 35 points for Donovan Mitchell. Can Tatum tie it with the layup? He can. It circles out, and the Cavs remain on top of the East by beating the Celtics 115-111.
Good evening, Portage County. I'm Michael Neenan.
And I'm Stone O'Brien.
Well, there were quite a few close games this weekend.
So we'll take you to the hardwood as we go around the NBA. Starting off at the Delta Center, the Jazz are hosting the Lakers, looking to turn around their season. LeBron James looking to get out of his slump. You know what? He got 5 assists. 3 of them came in the first quarter right there to Rui Hachimura. That's the first one. The second one to Dalton Neck as they slam it in. And the third one, my favorite, Davis with the nice screen. LeBron hit it, and when you give him that much space, he is money from three-point range. Second quarter, Utah up by 1. Lauri Markkanen hits the 3 to extend the lead. To the third quarter we go. Jazz trailing by 2. John Collins loses the ball. Nice recovery. Slams it in to tie the ball game up. Davis gets the steal. Hachimura and LeBron James are going to play hop-a-tail with the ball, and James is going to throw it down to finish it. 45 seconds left in the game. LeBron James, he's going to close it out. That shot would be the difference maker. But the Jazz won't go without a fight. Next possession, George misses. Kessler gets the putback to go. Last chance for the Jazz. Colin Sexton gets it. LeBron James goes down, but they're able to swarm them. And the Lakers will take this one by 1 with a final score of 105-104.
Hey, Cavs-Celtics wasn't the only 1 versus 2 seed matchup. Going out west, the Oklahoma City Thunder take on the Houston Rockets. Jalen Green driving in. Nice layup. He only had 9 points, though. Tell you what, the real show here, Fred VanVleet going coast to coast with the flipping his neck back to get the and 1. He hit 5 threes on the game, 38 points in total. Including, take a look at this, from like 7 feet beyond the arc, an absolute prayer in the fourth quarter to put the Rockets up 3. On the Thunder side of things, Isaiah Hartenstein to Cason Wallace from near the corner to tie things up with a minute left in the game. Now, SGA trying to get the rebound, getting a little chippy with Dylan Brooks. Yes, the menace himself. I mean, they had to be broken up a little bit. There's not a lot of time left in this game, though. Rockets trying to get the lead. Şengün, he falls. Who other than Dylan Brooks with the fadeaway to put the Rockets up. Houston, we have no problems. The Rockets win 119-116.
Wembanyama and the Spurs are visiting the Kings. Let's get to the action. We pick things up in the third. Chris Paul is around us, so he dishes it out to Wemby, who nets a triple from the top of the key. New King DeMar DeRozan kicks it out to Domantas Sabonis, and he's going to knock down a triple. DeRozan again. He's going to drive into the paint, try for 2. He misses, and Isaac Jones gets the putback slam. Kings by 2. De'Aaron Fox cross, step back 3. Money. Sacramento is up by 5. Fox passes it to Keegan Murray. Murray drives past Wemby and puts him on a poster, but Wemby gets his get back. He's going to back it up, roll around, flip it in, and that is all she wrote. We're tied at 13. Wemby fighting heavy coverage, extends for the layup. He had 34 points on the night. We've got some great ball movement by the Spurs, but the ball ends with Devin Vassell outside the arc. 3, bang! 25 ticks to go, and Wemby is going to give it to the old-timer to ice it. Chris Paul, nothing but net. Spurs win at 124-119.
Ooh, fun action all around the association. All right. Well, guys, which team has surprised you the most as we are pretty much approaching a month and a half in the NBA regular season? It's crazy to think about.
You know who surprised me, and it's for all the wrong reasons? The Washington Wizards. They're 2-16. They've got the worst offensive and defensive rating in the league, and it's just not a good formula for success. Alex Starr, the rookie, I want to see him develop more as the season goes along. The season's lost, but if you can develop and have a promising future, I think it'll be all right.
Tell you what, I think that the most surprising team has to be the Houston Rockets. They're currently the 2nd seed in the West right now. And you know what? I really could not have seen this coming at any point. I mean, right now, they're probably winning on the back of their defense. It's really, it's 2nd in the league right now in defensive rating. And really, I think that is partly due to the fact that Ime Udoka, their head coach, he's a very hard-nosed guy. You know, just one of those guys who really emphasizes keeping your arms up and really getting in passing lanes. There's also the fact that the Rockets are leading the league in rebounds right now, which certainly makes up for the fact that they actually have the 18th offensive rating in the league. They are a little middling in that category, but that's all right. And one guy to keep your eye on, Alperen Şengün. He's averaging 19, 11, and 5. He's almost like Nikola Jokic light. I mean, I think that this guy deserves to be an all-star this year, and I certainly think that, hey, if the Rockets, they keep playing like they are right now, I really think that they can maintain pace and be the 2nd seed in the West, and they're only a half game behind the Thunder right now, so hey, you know, they gotta really keep looking over their shoulder right now.
They're creeping up. Liv, how about yourself?
For me, I'm going to the bottom of the East. The Philadelphia 76ers, I mean, this is a team who consistently has made conference champions. They've got superstars. They've got Embiid, Maxey, they've got Paul George, but the best player right now for them is Jared McCain. Like, not actually, but like kind of, sort of.
I think it is.
It is. Technically, if you're going by points, it is Tyrese Maxey, but Jared McCain is like right behind him, like scoring about 1 point less per average. They're 4-14, and they haven't been close games either. There's a relatively big point differential. They're losing by 10, 15, even 20 points. Their closest loss was 2 points, and they have those 4 wins against Charlotte, Indiana, Brooklyn, Detroit, but the losses are to not really. There are some quality teams, but they're also to teams like the Raptors and Detroit, who really have not had great seasons. They were projected to win 51.5 games, but at this rate, you know what? I'll be surprised if they win 35. You guys can clip that and come back to it in June when they somehow make the Eastern Conference Finals again. But I just, Neiman's writing it down. There we go. Great.
He's probably right.
We'll see. It might be the Lib Jinx, but this team has just underperformed in every aspect, and it's shocking because this team has been so solid. I mean, Joel Embiid is a former MVP, and he's going to be playing like maybe a third of the game. So it's just shocking to see how this team is just practically falling apart. Matt?
I'll take the generic answer here. I'll take the fall. I'll go with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Look, no one expected this team to go, 15-0 before they lost their first game? And just because of the way that last year happened, you get to Boston, you lose in 5, and then you're like, okay, this is kind of what we can expect coming, in the next couple of years from this team. But then they get Kenny Atkinson. And this guy knows a thing or two because he has won at Golden State as an assistant coach. So now you keep the same guys essentially, and now you bring in this experience, this championship caliber coach. It's been pretty unreal to see. Now the question is, can they keep that as the season rolls along, because it is a marathon and not a sprint. And speaking of, which player is intriguing you guys the most this year so far in the NBA season?
I'll go first. I'll go with the generic answer, Victor Wembanyama. He's seemingly reaching new heights every game. I mean, Liv said it, yeah, he had 34 points in his last game in the highlight. He's averaging like 28 points over his last 5 games. All-around player, and I think if he stays healthy, he could be the future of the league. And a hot take, I think a future big man matchup that we could be looking forward to is Zach Edey versus Victor Wembanyama.
Ooh, out in the West.
Interesting. I'm gonna go with a guy with a little bit lower heights, but not quite. Going with Cam Thomas on the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, this guy is averaging 25, 3, and 3. He really reminds me of a star on a 2000s team that was kind of bad, back when guys were just allowed to shoot the ball as much as they wanted to. And Cam Thomas is kind of one of those guys. He has a green light to just go up there and shoot the ball. And he's actually doing it pretty efficiently, too. He's doing it on 46, 39, 87 splits. He's certainly a great player, and the strangest thing is he's 23 years old. There's still certainly a lot of room to grow for Cam Thomas. And, you know, there are some rumors circulating that, hey, the Nets could be looking for another star, perhaps something to keep in mind. But right now, I do think that Cam Thomas, he has a really good feel for the game. He is a lot of fun to watch, really great highlight reel player. You know, I think he does make the Nets a lot more fun to watch than they otherwise would be.
Well, I harped on the Sixers a lot, but now I want to give them a little bit of praise because if they've done one thing right, it is drafting Jared McCain. I mean, undoubtedly, as of right now today, he is the Rookie of the Year, and there is no comparison, which is kind of shocking for 16th overall, but he's been absolutely spectacular. He's got a really bright future.
All right, well, thank you guys very much. Well, Empowerment and Corrali Chaos are coming up, plus we discuss what the best jersey in all of sports is.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine, and I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, you know, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero. Good job, kitty cat. When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money.
Welcome back. It's time to hand out our award-winning segments, starting with empowerment. Well, we've had a lot of awesome empowerment moments this year with the NWSL, PWHL, and WNBA, but so much more is happening in the world of women's sports than I can fit into 1 minute each week. So here's a few things to look forward to. As we mentioned last week, Cleveland has submitted a bid for an NWSL and WNBA team, which will continue to build women's sports in the land. Unrivaled, a 3-on-3 basketball league founded by Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart, starts play up in January. The Pro Volleyball Federation just had their draft last week, so there's plenty of time to pick a team and get ready for the season to start next year. The PWHL season is also in full swing, and it's easy to watch their games. You can just catch them on their YouTube. We've also had a really exciting college basketball season thus far, and it's only going to get more exciting in the new year. It is so easy to help advance women's sports, and it's going to take all of us. Thank you for joining me this semester around the wide world of women's sports.
For the final time this season, let's get chaotic. Out at the Maui Invitational, the defending champions and second-ranked Yukon Huskies went out to Hawaii to compete in the tournament. What nobody could have seen coming from them, however, was that they were going to drop all 3 games that they would play. They fell at the hands of the Memphis Tigers, Colorado Buffaloes, and Dayton Flyers, with the first 2 games being only by 1 possession, as the Memphis matchup ended up going into overtime. Now, I don't mean to overreact here, but could this be the beginning of the end for the men of Hartford? Head coach Dan Hurley said that he will never schedule invitationals again and strictly will schedule home and aways. They have won the last 2 national titles. Could this mean that we will see a new champion in 2025? Because this was purely shocking, jaw-dropping, and most importantly, chaotic. That's why the Yukon Huskies are the final highlight of this semester of Corelli Chaos. Well, with it being the last show, it is tradition that we wear jerseys for our group picture at the end. So I wanted to ask you all, what is your favorite jersey of all time?
So I've got 2 picks, and they're relatively recent, so I feel kind of basic for it. But I love the Texans' red alternate jerseys. I think they are so cool. Plus, they've got that like shiny red helmet. I think they're so red is my favorite color, so I'm just like viciously biased. But I think they look really cool. Another favorite I have, I love this year's Cavs City Connect. I've always been a sucker for anything powder blue. I love the Kent State powder blues. I don't think they're the best, but I think that the Cavs powder blue, this City Connect, and the ones they had a few years ago when they had the with the Metro Parks, I thought those were really cool. I'll say any Cavs City Connect. I love Cavs City Connect jerseys. I've rambled enough.
They do a good job with City Connects. Let's go to the couch, and let's start with Stone O'Brien on the left.
You know what? This may be a childhood nostalgia take, but I really like the Browns' orange jerseys with the orange pants.
Oh, wow.
And guess what? And I've played Madden all the time. I would just pick those jerseys because orange is my favorite color. I like the way they look. And you know what? I'd have a fun time playing with the Browns.
We think in
Stone,
mid-2010s.
I hate to interrupt, but are you talking about these right here?
That one, or are we thinking sort of the early 2000s with Charlie Fry in them?
Early 2000s.
There you go.
Write it down!
I'll put this down.
Although the Joe Thomas jersey is fun.
That's a good one. Good one, definitely.
Nice. Michael?
You know, I've been thinking about this, and there's a lot of cool NBA jerseys. I'm going to go with the early 2000s Orlando Magic jerseys. Tracy McGrady, I mean, you know, it's definitely a nostalgia pick, and it's really too bad the team wasn't all that good. Just a bunch of first-round exits, which is an absolute travesty because those jerseys were so sick. I really think that they deserve a lot more love than they do, but it's unfortunate because every other time the Magic had deep playoff runs, they always had those basic, just kind of blue jerseys. I think that the Magic have some of the most unique jerseys in all of sports, and I really think that they deserve a lot more love. You know, what do you think is your favorite?
All right. Now imagine this.
Oh no.
All black uniform, red piping on the jersey and the pants. The Blue Jays, City Connect.
Ooh.
Yeah, good pick.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Dare I say perfect?
Wow.
Perhaps.
Throwing the perfect label on it.
How about that one?
Are very hit or miss, but you know who also has a good City Connect?
Who?
The Cleveland Guardians.
They do.
They do have a very good City
No.
Connect uniform.
If we're talking best MLB City Connect, it's Washington with the cherry blossoms. I'm sorry, continue.
Cherry
Oh,
blossoms
those
are
are
good.
good
I like
too.
that.
I'm going to stay in great Canada and sticking in the same time frame as well. The Toronto Raptors, in my opinion, have the greatest jersey of all time. I will go with any of the ones that they wore from the late 90s up until Chris Bosh had left them. So they usually wear lots of purples and reds and a lot of darker tones, and I really appreciate that. And you gotta love Big Barney the dinosaur with the basketball. You gotta love that. And we saw some great players: T-Mac, Vince Carter, Damon Stoudemire, even Hakeem Olajuwon for a little bit there. We had just a lot of great players wear that iconic, vibrant jersey, and it's been brought back so many times. I really love those early Toronto jerseys.
I tell you what, they really cooked in the late 90s, early 2000s NBA. Those jerseys were fantastic. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to see an era of the NBA where every single team has a really nice jersey, unless you're the Celtics and Lakers, in which you just never change your jerseys ever.
That's true. All right, Matt Corrali, what's your pick?
You mentioned it earlier. You love
did?
the powder blues.
Yes.
Well, so do I. And a lot of teams have tried to replicate it, but no one does it better than the original, North Carolina. A lot of legends have worn that jersey, and just the way that it's so simple, yet so iconic, it really just makes you feel like you're part of something historic, especially with the fact that the greatest basketball player to ever live went to that college and played there in Michael Jordan. So that definitely has the leverage, the pull to it, and that's my selection.
All right, well, let's take a peek at that Monday Night Football game. the Browns are not wearing those beautiful orange jerseys that Stone is so fond of, but hopefully
Don't have
they're
powder
doing
blues
okay.
either?
Well, yeah, no powder blues either. They're not doing so great right now. It's 10-21. We mentioned those first two scores. Dustin Hopkins tacked on a 45-yard field goal. Michael Burton got a rushing touchdown, and the Broncos had a 70-yard interception return for a touchdown. Bad night to beat Jameis Winston.
Yeah, well, when we come back, we have some seniors who have a few words as they say farewell.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it. I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool. Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
Even if I tried, even if I wanted to.
Welcome back, and now we start to say goodbye to some of our seniors graduating tonight, starting with Della Fowler, who could not be here but left us this.
Hi guys, I'm Della Fowler, and this is my senior goodbye for Sportscorner. This show means so much to me. I have loved spending Monday nights with the amazing staff here, both on and off air. They have totally helped me become a much better journalist than I was day one. I remember being so scared to do highlights on air. It was so terrifying, but now it's just something that I learned how to do because of the amazing work on this show. I just wanted to thank all of my darling friends and family, especially my awesome boyfriend, Brandon. He is my entire world and has supported me through my entire journey here at Kent State. My amazing best friend, Peyton, as well, has been my cheerleader every single day, being a part of this organization. You know, being a woman in a male-dominated field, it's easy to feel less than or unheard, not as important, but having people at home like Peyton has really helped me get through this and push myself to try and be someone that young women, young female reporters can lean on coming into the world of sports reporting, because I definitely would have appreciated having someone here to lean on in that experience. So I hope that I can be that for a generation of female sports reporters to come. I just love this program so much, and it will always hold a special part in my life. I love you all so much.
What's up, everyone? My name's Josh Aponte, and it is time to do my senior goodbye. First off, I want to thank God for blessing me to meet all these amazing people and be in this amazing position. Secondly, I want to thank my family for always supporting me, being my #1 cheerleaders. My mom, my dad, my sister Ashley, and our little doggy Angel. Hello, Angel. Angel gets a little shout out. I want to start off with a little story. The first time I ever walked into the newsroom for Sportscorner. So I walked in, and I saw everybody working, and I was like, oh shoot, this is the wrong room. And I walked out and walked down to in here in the studio, and I was like, there's no one in here, so I must have been in the right place. So I walked back up, and I walked in, and Jack Bruni goes, oh hey, and he welcomes me in, and he introduces me to Ben McMillan, and from there, the rest is history. He introduced me to everyone there. I saw a familiar face in Matt Mergen, from my Flashcast, and from there it was awesome. I went on to sports anchor for multiple Flashcasts and newscasts, and alongside my buddy right here, Mr. Matt Corrali, we got to co-produce Sports Corner for a year and a half, and that, Matt, I want to thank you for being the most amazing co-producer in the world and an amazing friend.
Oh, thank you,
because that was an amazing ride.
Yes, it was.
And I love producing with you, and I love you, brother.
Oh,
thank you so
man.
much.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
Love you too.
I also want to shout out everyone that's on production on this show. Austin Monty, Devin, Joe, Jenny, Sophia, Lillian, Mike, and David. Without this show wouldn't be possible. You guys do an amazing job night in, night out. Oh, and Anthony Fariga is also here. Yes, thank you. Anthony Fariga as well for doing Master. A couple of other shout outs to some amazing people that I've learned so much from. First off, Jack Burney for being such an amazing person, for welcoming me into the sports program. Ben McMillan, who taught me tons about editing highlights and videos. And also Gabe Calora. Now here's a fun story about Gabe. This was like 2 a.m. one night. And it was like towards the end of one of the semesters, and I was doing, sports for a while. And I get a call from Gabe Calora, and I go, Sir Calora! And he goes, Josh Aponte! And he's like, I got a question for you. I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, do you have any interest in producing? And I was like, yes, I actually was thinking about producing. And he was like, how about you co-produce Sports Corner? I was like, yes. And he was like, okay, perfect. I'll be in contact. I'll send you the application, whatever. And I was like, okay, bet. I get a call a couple days later, and he goes, you'll never guess who's going to be your co-producer. I was like, what? And he said, Matt Corrali. And I was like, oh, yeah, deal me in. Let's do it. Let's ride Broncos country. It was freaking awesome. And Gabe, I want to thank you so much for, I don't know if you were desperate or if you actually saw something in me. That was one of the greatest experiences I've had here at Kent State. I want to thank you so much for that, but also for being a great friend as well. Now, here's a bunch of people that I also need to shout out. First off, Austin Monty and Devin, you two have been working production for this show for almost as long as me and Matt co-produced the show. And you guys have been awesome, willing to do anything that me and Matt threw at you. You guys rock. Night in, night out, you're bringing your A game, and shout out to you guys. I also want to shout out Joanne for being one of the most amazing supporting people here. You've been amazing as well. But now here comes the long part. All the friends that have been along for the journey here at TV2 Sports / KSTV Sports. Ryan Shanko and Alex Isaiah. First off, I want to give you guys amazing props. You guys have been amazing leaders this semester, and you guys really have stepped up and really carried on the legacy of this department. So thank you guys for being amazing. As expected. I always expected you guys to be amazing, but you guys just awesome. Liv Sharp, who, little story again, Liv Sharp went to Twinsburg High School with me, and we did the THS News together. And look at, 8 years? 8 years? I don't know. 8 years later, whatever. I don't know. We're both sitting at this desk, and we're both journalism majors here at Kent State University. So, Liv, you've also been a great, amazing friend. So I want to thank you so much as well, not only for high school, but also through our college years. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to roll through this. I have to shout out the Barrel Scrapers, the men who play Fortnite with me, night in, night out. Michael Neenan, over there. Oh, we love Michael Neenan, one of the first friends I've ever met here at TV2 Sports. Matt Mergen, Austin Arnold, Dom O'Brien, he's in there. Anthony Leonardi, he's also in there. Nico Crespo, he's graduated. Noah Keeney, Blake Galosia, Jordan Hiles, Maddox Miller, Heidi Marshall, Ty Belcher, David Williams, Brady Hamilton, Timmy Carlisle, Pat Sartor, Evan Schofield, and Stone O'Brien, who I got to show this year how to cover games, and everyone else who is in this room, or if I have not mentioned you, thank you so much. It has been a true pleasure working with you all and being a co-producer, a anchor, but also it's been a pleasure being a friend, so thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm Ryan Shenko, and I'm going to do my best to follow up Josh. That was awesome. But yeah, you guys already knew who I was. I was on the show. So I was blessed enough to serve as the sports content manager this semester, and these people you've seen all night tonight and all semester long have made that experience one of the best that I have ever had. There are so many people that I want to thank who have made my time here at TV2 and KSTV so very special. Firstly, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because none of this is possible without him. I want to thank my parents and my brother, who have been so supportive, as well as my wonderful girlfriend Ashlyn, who is always right there cheering me on. A massive thank you goes out to Jack Burney. You were the first one to believe in me, and you saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. Thank you to Gabe Kalura, my predecessor in this position, my roommate for so long, and one of my best friends in the whole world, for believing in my ability to maintain the standard that we established together. I want to shout out Matt Corrali and Michael Neenan as well. They've been the best roommates and friends that I could ever ask for, and thanks to you guys and Gabe, the number 109 will never not have a special meaning and a place in my heart. Alex Isaiah, thank you for being Superman in this department this semester. I could not have chosen anyone better to produce this show and do all the little things every single day to make this department absolutely hum to the best of its ability. I'm proud to call you my brother, and I'm 100% sure you're destined for greatness. Thank you to Liv Sharp and Matt again for being such incredible anchors. It is you guys who set the tone and you guys who make this show what it is. I also want to thank Dom O'Brien, Kennedy Gotham, Alex Manthe, Matt Mergen, Nico Crespo, Noah Rowe, Anthony Zacharias, Josh Aponte, Sophia Sonato, Sydney Brown, Lex Rady, and so many more for enriching my life and becoming friends that I know I will have for the rest of my life. Truly, you guys have made this experience the best one that I have ever had, and for that, I will be so grateful. There are so many other people to thank. I don't have unlimited time to name everyone, so I will leave you with this. You are one of one, so be yourself every single day, because the person that you are is an incredible person. I love this place and I love these people so very much. So with that, for the last time ever, I'm Ryan Shenko, KSTV.
And I'm Alex Isaiah. I've been the producer this semester of this show, and I'm just so grateful to have been put in this position, like Shenko said, by Gabe Kalura and Ryan Shenko putting me in this position. I'm so grateful to everyone who has been on the show, whether you're on air or off air. You have been incredibly helpful to making this whole machine work. I'm so thankful for everyone who is in this room and who is not in this room. I also want to thank God for giving me this opportunity, for giving me the opportunity to be in this room and meet all these wonderful people. This is something I was not sure of doing when I first came into college, and then I kind of just, Della Fowler, she reached out to me, I reached out to her, and I came into Sportscorner on one Monday, and I haven't left ever since. I'm so thankful for all the opportunities I've gotten to, whether it be report, be on air, produce, or help this show run, and it's been an incredible experience for me. I want to thank Matthew Mergen for helping me showing me the ropes on reporting, Jack Burney for helping me show the ropes in editing, Ben McMillan, Gabe Kalura for always being there when I needed help or someone to talk to, Ryan Shenko for believing in me in this position, Josh Aponte and Matt Crawley for being wonderful predecessors as producers, Austin Monty being one of the best directors, Sophia Sonato, Lillian, Devin, David, Anthony, Jenny, Michael, thank you guys so much for making this whole show work behind the scenes. And yeah, I don't have anything else prepared. Just so grateful to have been here, and yeah.
Well, I will say, on behalf of everyone here, thank you guys, because you are part of what makes this organization so great. If we could give a hand for our seniors, that would be fantastic.
It is so hard to imagine this place without you, because a lot of us came in together. So it's for those of us who are remaining for the spring semester, it's going to be hard. And anytime you guys are here, we're just hit with the feeling that you truly love this place. And
Absolutely.
Well, to be frank, we have no doubts about your abilities, and the standard is the standard, you guys.
The standard is the standard.
Is the standard.
We know one thing about that.
And we'll end this season at that. And that'll do it for this season of Sports Corner. We thank you all so much for watching.
For updates from us 24/7, head over to KentWire.com and be sure to tune in to Overtime right here every Friday at 7 p.m. I'm Liv Sharp.
And I'm Matt Corrali, saying wherever the ball flies in the air, the Kent Stater Sports Network
will be there.
We'll see you in January.
Good night.